Returning now to our top story, an overnight memo from the Trump administration ordering a sweeping pause on all federal grants and loans that could impact trillions of dollars in federal assistance for people in every state. Let's bring in Democratic Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro of Connecticut. Congresswoman, great to see you. Thank you so much. I understand you're the top Democrat on the Appropriations Committee. What is going on with these programs that are going to be impacted by this? We were looking at a graphic earlier that showed Head Start, breakfast and lunch programs for needy children. Say it ain't so.
Well, it is so. And thank you so much for inviting me to be on, Jim. I think this is really outrageous. And this administration is really hurting hardworking Americans. The actions are causing chaos. I can't tell you how many calls I've had, from mayors, from colleagues, et cetera, of what is going on. And when you ask the agency what funding is safe, their response is, we don't know. And if they don't know, then nothing is safe. And nothing is safe. You should know. I'm going to make a point to you, Jim, that,
Sure.
But that's not really, he is breaking the law. This is the Appropriations Committee has voted bipartisan House, Senate, signed by the president, and this is law, and he's taking it into his hands to thwart that system, and he will continue to do it. But your point is, and my point is, how is it affecting Americans? And you highlighted some. I am now sitting for this interview in a Title I school district, and that takes care of three schools in my community. I'm about to speak to kids here this morning. And what does it mean if the Title I funds are frozen? That means that teachers don't get paid. You talked about Head Start. It's childcare. It is the after-school programs. And more examples, SNAP, food benefits so families can feed their children, the WIC program, which deals with women, infants, and children, housing, and programs that deal with housing assistance, veterans writ large, homeless provider grants for them. There is nursing home care, transportation programs, suicide prevention programs. I can go on and on, Jim. This is reckless in terms of the services that the federal government provides to hardworking Americans. And my constituencies, my constituents, who are going to be hurt. And this is in every city and town across this country. And it is in violation of the law, in violation of the Constitution.
Well, and you and Senator Patty Murray of Washington State wrote a letter to the White House saying, quote, we can put this on screen, we write today to urge you in the strongest possible terms to uphold the law and the Constitution and ensure all federal resources are delivered in accordance with the law. And I guess you touched on this earlier, Congresswoman, and for the folks at home, maybe help me explain this. When the Congress passes something, when they appropriate money to certain programs, and that is signed into law by the president, and yes, that may have been Joe Biden, now there's a new president here, another president can't come in and just say, well, we're throwing stuff out the window here. Wouldn't you have to pass yet another law and have that law signed by the new president? If you want to get rid of Head Start and food stamps and all of those things, President Trump, you got to do this through the proper methods.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's spot on. This was appropriated. That means the funds are there. It's now the agencies have to carry that mandate out. And that is their responsibility by law, is to carry out these programs. And so they're flying in the face of the law and of the Constitution, because it is Congress who has the power of the purse, of expending the money. Now, they can question and so forth, but freezing it all, as I said, the effects of that, and that's what people need to know. This is not, I don't want to make constitutional arguments. That's not what people need to hear. People need to know how this is going to affect their family, their kids, and their way of life. What are we about here?
Well, and that's what I was told by all the smart people in Washington, that this election was about putting food on the table, the price of groceries, the price of eggs, and meat and potato type issues. This is talking about taking meat and potatoes from the kids. This is about taking food off the table.
Off the table. It's right. And, you know, when they talk about energy programs, you know, one of the programs there was the rebate program for put money directly back into the hands of families if, in fact, they deal with improving their homes and be able to save money with regard to energy. The program there was set to save households up to $1 billion per year on their energy bills. So this is contrary to what the election was about, and that's the cost of living. And what it really flies in the face of everything that, for those who voted for President Trump, it flies in the face of what he told them that he was about and he was going to do. This is an about face, and it will hurt people and American families enormously.
All right, Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. Give those kids in Connecticut our best. Thank you. We're following breaking news. Consumer